Right then, this is just a quick road test video, and this is for a Subaru Legacy, and it's the SE Sports, registered BK53KXJ. Mileage at the start of the road test is 173,998 miles. The reason we do these videos is basically so that if anyone's looking at the car online in an advert, they actually get to see that very car advertised actually in operation. And we feel it's actually almost more important on what we refer to as the trade cars or the part exchange cars, that obviously people get to see them in operation, but also to get to know before they come any issues there might be with the car. As I mentioned in the advert for this vehicle, the exterior has got a few marks on it, hence that's why it is cheap. It's got no parking sensors in the back. It looks like it's had a new rear bumper at some point. There's a noticeable scuff on the front bumper there, and there's other marks, but that's why it is very, very, very cheap. I'm also acutely aware that with the running gear in the vehicle and the specification that's included in this car, the price that we're selling the vehicle for is far less than the car's actually worth in parts. So obviously with that in mind, but just to give you a brief drive of the car, engine, by the way, the car's not been started now for quite a few weeks during the lockdown. Started straight away, settled to completely smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all. Temperature gauge running at just under a half, which by all accounts is where it's meant to be one of these things. It's been running for quite some time now. But the engine's, it's a really torquey, strong unit, very smooth. It's typical of its breed. It's, certainly, it's hard to believe it's done the miles it's done, because it doesn't feel like a very high mileage car in that sense. And the same with the gearbox. All the gear changes are nice and smooth and positive. All the gear engagements are exactly as they're meant to be, even from stationary when you drop it into drive or reverse. There's no sort of nasty delays or thunks going in and out of gear. So in that sense, all seems good. The steering of the car tracks dead straight. There's certainly no vibrations that I can feel up to the legal limit. Really nice power steering system on these cars, but it feels nice and taut and tight on the road. The whole car does actually. It's it feels very together in that sense. The only issue of any sort that even merits a mention, and it hardly merits a mention, over certain bumps there was a little bit of suspension noise. I'm guessing it's from the near side front there. It might be a drop link, might be a ball joint. Don't honestly know. Obviously not something we're looking at the price of the car, but I want people to be aware of it. But there's, on the smooth edges, it's very smooth, quiet, very, very comfortable. But just there, you hit a sort of a sharper ridge, it's sort of sort of noise. So there's obviously a little bit of play somewhere. But again, that's it's if it's worth a mention, it gets mentioned on the videos. Make sure no one's behind me, just give the brakes a bit of a shove, but they're good solid brakes on the car. And again, given the fact the car's been stood for some time, there's no grumbling or rumbling through the brake pedal, and it pulls the car up nice and straight and true as well. Inside the vehicle, again, it just shows how well Japanese make their cars, because it feels really solid in here, I have to say. Pretty much everything works exactly as it should. Air conditioning, even on a nice warm morning this morning, is pumping out really cold air. I haven't pressed every last button, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, but all seems to work well. The only thing that I know doesn't work, because the lady did tell me, is the passenger rear electric window. Tried it on the switch there and on the door, so it doesn't work. So again, need to be aware of that, something you want to factor in as well. But I stress, I've factored these all in to the price of the car already. I don't want, obviously, people turning up saying I want money knocked off because it's got a few exterior marks, or it's got a little suspension knock, or it's got the rear window. That's why it is as cheap as it is, because fundamentally it's a really, really solid car on the road. It's got a really nice tow bar fitted to the back, so if you want to do a bit of towing, or if that's what the plan is, once any work's been done on the vehicle, then I'll leave it up to the discretion of the next buyer. But obviously, it's hopefully at least rare for garages to sort of do this kind of thing, and this is why I'm doing it, but I'd expect anyone looking to purchase it to do it with their eyes wide open and accepting what we're saying about the vehicle, if that's okay. If not, obviously just move on to the next car, which is again perfectly understandable. But from a drive of the car, it does feel a very, very solid vehicle indeed. Any questions at all, don't hesitate, do give us a call.